It's going to take a minute. This is amazing. Let's start by thanking the staff for being here, members of the media. I just want you to know that I'm excited to be working with you moving forward into the future, and I look forward to meeting and getting to know each one of you on a personal level. Thank you to Mark Wilf, to Ziggy Wilf, to the Wilf family for providing me this opportunity. Thank you to Kevin O'Connell. Thank you to Andrew Miller for providing me this opportunity. I cannot wait to get to work, and I'm looking forward to moving forward into the future with you guys. I want to thank the Seahawks organization and John Schneider for preparing me for this opportunity. And they did that by allowing me to see high caliber leadership throughout the building on a day-to-day basis. And I was raised in this league by seeing it done the right way. I want to thank my wife, Morgan, who's here today. My rock, I love you. I'd like to take a moment to tell my 4 boys how much I love them. They are not here today, otherwise our youngest, Nash, would have already made his presence known, but I want them to know how much I love them. It was always going to take...
Okay, kind of sound like Bane, huh? You hear me? Here we go, man. Let's get it.
It was always going to take a special opportunity to leave a special place in Seattle. And as I progressed through this process, it became very clear that the Minnesota Vikings were just that. They were that opportunity. And it's because of a strong leadership who's in ownership, whose reputation is obvious, their commitment to supporting their people, providing the resources needed to compete and ultimately win championships.
Now we can look at that in different ways, of course, but as far as supporting their people, hell yeah, you're damn right. I mean, that's what the Wolves do. I mean, they go to the furthest extent. They overpay. They kept players too long, kept coaches too long. So they are very loyal to a certain extent to their coaches, players, etc., even if they shouldn't be. But he's absolutely correct right there. Now, has it been strictly about winning for the Wolves, or really has it been about asses in a seat, sock it to his pockets? That's it. That's all, folks. That's all that matters. But definitely a great opportunity for him, no way around it. And I'm sure the Wolves will give him leeway like they've given other GMs leeway. I guess you can question Quasi, but shit, Quasi was there for what he had 4 failed drafts. Kept him around, made some bad moves during free agency, kept him around still. So yeah, he will definitely get a fair chance, a chance to make his mark, put an imprint on this organization and make history potentially, But as far as leadership, some aspects of leadership you definitely have to question. No way around it. Here we go.
To have a head coach the caliber of Kevin O'Connell, who is an elevator, he's a leader of men. He believes in supporting people and building culture. This is a premier coaching staff under Kevin that has been built.
No, we talk about Kevin. He wants to say premier. Cool. We can say premier. That's all right. I understand he has to say the right things right now. But has KOC been premier? No. Has he been excellent? Hell no. Has he always been a great leader of men? Hell no. Look at the way they're doing McCarthy right now. Yeah, look at the way things are going with McCarthy so far. Still a lot of questions about KOC, a lot for KOC to prove, definitely. Definitely, baby, for real. So we talk about great leadership from KO, beg to differ. The way he's handled McCarthy, beg to differ. The lack of effort he's put in with McCarthy, man. The way he's changed his tune about his quarterback. So it's a lot to be questioned about KOC. So let's not forget that aspect of it. Like I say, I understand he has to be correct, be politically correct per se right now. Let's go, bro. But we know, you know it, I know it. A lot of questions about KOC for real.
in the National Football League. Rob Brzezinski being here is an incredible asset. He's the ultimate team player. And Rob, I want you to know I cannot wait to work with you and learn from you as we move forward into the future. The roster, it's obvious it's a strong nucleus of talent on both sides of the ball. They've won a lot of football games here in the last 4 years, including 5 in a row to end last season. And I look forward to being a part of that and building toward, more opportunity and more wins in the future. And last but certainly not least, it's a passionate fan base with a lot of history. And I look forward to building upon the fact that US Bank Stadium is already one of the toughest environments to play in sport. And it's because of those fans. And so the work starts now. I want everybody to know that I'm committed to building a deep understanding of this roster in its entirety. That I'm going to build relationships, strong relationships with the coaching staff, with the players, and with the people within this organization.
That right there is much needed. Strong relationships, strong bonds. We've seen for years fake relationship and fake bonds. Matter of fact, as far as the Minnesota Vikings football team and organization goes, maybe we'll finally see people be held accountable. Not the same old people or certain ones. Maybe everybody in the damn building. But I expect Nolan Teasley to come in and definitely make some changes, do it his way. We've heard that before, though. The crazy way was the wrong way. Nolan Teasley, different animal, different experience, real winner, proven assistant GM, etc. But he comes from a real winning pedigree. He has all the tools to be successful, all the football IQ to be successful. He should be able to identify players, especially, I'm sure, whatever scouting team he brings in, they're going to be able to identify players as well at the highest level. So I'm expecting great things. I repeat, great things from Nolan Teasley. Here we go. Let's get it. I have no problem with the teamwork, this and that, working as a group, working together. But they must understand he has the final say. He is the Super Bowl winner. He understands. He's been around Super Bowl winners, period. The Vikings haven't done that yet. The Wilfs haven't won a Super Bowl yet. KOC, he was with the Rams. He wasn't even play calling. It counts, but it doesn't count per se. He was on the squad, yeah. He was a coach, cool. But we all know, I repeat, we all know what his role really was. So they must understand how much he knows about the game, about building a team in general, and step way back. Step aside, my dog. Step aside, KOC. Let him really work. If it's a team effort, collaboration, communication, all right, bet, cool. But we must understand who has the final say. Here we go. Let's get it.
We're going to develop a shared language that drives how we evaluate and how we operate in working toward building a champion on a day-to-day basis. And most importantly, I'm going to provide the support system that Kevin O'Connell needs to bring his vision for this team to life. Our goals are simple, and we're going to build the deepest, most competitive roster possible so that we can be at our best in December and January and February, and ultimately work toward winning the Super Bowl that this fan base deserves. Thank you.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone, and it replaces 3 different chargers. So when I travel, I don't pack extra cables, I don't have to pack extra bricks. This covers my phone, my watch, and anything USB type.
Shout out Nolan Teasley once again. Here we go.
Nolan to your right. Chris Long from KSTP Television. On a scale of rebuild to right there, where do you see this roster right now?
Nice question. Matter of fact, great question from him. Let's see how the media does right here as well, man. Will they come with it? Will they come forward? Will they start asking some real questions, some brutal questions, maybe like they attack JJ McCarthy, like they attack JJ McCarthy? Oh man, you know it. I know it. The way they hit him with questions left and right, boom, boom, bam, bam, throwing combinations, damn near. Wanting him to say the wrong thing, assuming he said the wrong thing, type shit. But I wonder if the media will attack this man right now, Nolan Teasley and Mark Wolf, the way they attack and go after JJ McCarthy. Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, I believe we're ready to compete right now because they've been competitive. I think I spoke to 9 wins last year, 5 in a row, and we look forward to, continuing that consistency.
So once again, we're hearing it again. It's about competing, never a rebuild. They're competing, never a rebuild. So the question is, how does being a competitive team look? Is it playoffs one and done? Or is it really making a playoff run? Now, Nolan Teasley had to come here for a reason. If he didn't believe in a roster, want to be part of the roster building program in Minnesota, he wouldn't have came. I guarantee you that. No cap. But what exactly will he do differently than Quasi per se? I'm sure it starts with the draft. I expect much better drafts, more improved drafts moving forward. I expect him to build off the momentum, on the momentum that Rob Brzezinski left in the building heavy. But at the end of the day, bro, they are in competition mode. Even on paper, right? The roster is still elite, still good, etc. Playoff caliber, some may argue, but I say, yeah, bitch, yeah, for real. Now, depending on the quarterback situation, how that goes, depending on how KOC coaches this year, time will tell for sure. But understand, he just said it. They are in a competitive mode. No rebuild, no tear it down, break it down, build it up. Nothing, Jack. No cap. Straight rebuild, straight competitive mode. Not rebuild mode, but competitive mode. Here we go. But right away, off the rip, I ain't gonna cap. I like the questions they're coming with, but I want them to just come with it. You know, cut the GM, cut Teasley, cut Mark Wolf. No slack. Unload on him, unload on them, like they do on JJ McCarthy every time. Let's get back to it, bro. Here we go.
Hi, Dolan. Welcome to Minnesota. Matthew Collar from Purple Insider. I'm curious, just with your role under John Schneider, there was a lot of stuff that was written on the website about what you did in Seattle's front office. Part of it, though, obviously the scouting side, also working with the analytics department. I'm just curious about how you guys were able to marry those things together in Seattle and how that worked with your role overseeing those different departments.
Specifically analytics and scouting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it, and I've said this multiple times, the way that we look at it is that we're going to be guided by evaluation. We're going to be anchored by data. And then the final piece, kind of as we work through our 3 pillars of acquisition and evaluation, is that what's really important is the coach's vision for the player. And that's in simplest terms, how we're going to operate.
Mike was muted. Let me run it back. Basically saying that we're going to evaluate at the highest level and really understand the personnel we have, understand our personnel from top to bottom. You know, as far as scouting goes, I'm sure he'll probably bring in a whole different scouting team. Could you blame him? I mean, could you blame him, baby? For real? But they're going to grade each other off of execution, evaluation, man, real evaluations. No bullshit, period. But the fact that he said, hey, we're going to understand and have a real relationship with these players, the best relationship possible. That's a great start right there. Now, of course, certain things he has to say, certain things he probably can't or won't say. But hey, at the end of the day, I hope the main goal is Super Bowl. Winning pedigree, Super Bowl winner. He understands the game, understands how to build a Super Bowl caliber team. Here we go, man. Get back to it.
Nolan, Dave Campbell with the Associated Press. A lot of talk about the consensus building being, part of the search process, a priority for the Vikings. What's a good example of how you did that in Seattle, maybe when you had different people who weren't agreeing on a certain topic, and what did you learn about how the art of that in a football operations?
Yeah, I just think that's why you're anchored by process, why you have a process, so that everybody kind of
Let me run that back one more again. Nice camera work by the man as well. Here we go. Look at the Viking trying to get right a little bit. I want to run that question back, hear it again.
vision for the player. And that's the
Matter of fact, run it back a little bit more, hear the full sequence.
Chris, just with your role under John Schneider, there was a lot of stuff that was written on the website about what you did in Seattle's front office. Part of it, though, obviously the scouting side, also working with the analytics department. I'm just curious about how you guys were able to marry those things together in Seattle and how that worked with your role overseeing those different departments.
specifically analytics and scouting.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I look at it, and I've said this multiple times, the way that we look at it is that we're going to be guided by evaluation. We're going to be anchored by data. And then the final piece, kind of as we work through our 3 pillars of acquisition and evaluation, is that what's really important is the coach's vision for the player. And that's in simplest terms, how we're going to operate.
Nolan, Dave Campbell with the Associated Press. A lot of talk about consensus building being, part of the search process, a priority for the Vikings. What's a good example of how you did that in Seattle, maybe when you had different people who weren't agreeing on a certain topic, and what did you learn about how the art of that in a football operations?
Yeah, I just think that's why you're anchored by process, why you have a process, so that everybody kind of understands the foundation of it all. And if we have disagreements, we just go back to the beginning, we start over, and we work together until we have that consensus. And ultimately, if you don't build that at decision-making time, then that's part of our process, right? Is that we're not moving forward with that particular acquisition.
All about the process for sure. Like I said earlier, they must all be on the same accord. They must all be trying to reach the same goal at the end of the day. KOC specifically must get out of his ego, but he's the GM for a reason. The Wolves hired him for a reason, right? Right. So let him work and do his job. But the process, like he said, working together, even in disagreements, coming back to the table, come back to the drawing board and figure it out. Let's go, bro. Now, some things he just gonna say, period. First interview, first presser. He wants to sound good, but hey, will he stick to his word? Does he really mean what he says? Unlike Quasi, yeah, here we go. And you can say unlike KOC as well as far as right now goes. I mean, shit, the last 4 years, really. Let's get it.
Yeah, Mark, over here, Alec Lewis of The Athletic. Mark, what have you learned about past structures of decision-making that was important in how you guys constructed this present structure?
Well, I think the number one thing is you just have to have strong leaders. And we're blessed with many strong leaders in this building. We have Coach O'Connell, we have Rob Brzezinski, and that's what we saw here in Nolan. And I think structure is structure, but
He talks about strong leaders. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, KOC isn't a strong leader or isn't a good leader, but the way he's done McCarthy, I can't give him that off the rip. He has a lot more to do. And the fact he's been here for 4 years and hasn't won one playoff game, hey man, you questioned his leadership for sure. But I really questioned it this year with this whole JJ McCarthy situation. Now he switched up on this man, damn near lied on this man. Went from calling him the future of the organization, etc., to, hey, we need a new quarterback ASAP. I mean, even midway through the season, it was questions, hey, has he lost his team? Is the team done with him, etc., etc. So as far as being a strong leader and being a great leader of men, KLC has a lot to prove for sure. On and off the field, matter of fact. But you question his leadership more and more now because of the way he did or is doing McCarthy. Here we go, man. Let's get it. And then you say this here, the Wilfs are the owners, so the Wilfs should be leaders as well. Have they been strong leaders? He's talking about what he wants out of a GM and this and that, what he learned about other GMs. Have the Wilfs been strong leaders? Matter of fact, as owners, you're damn near always in New Jersey. So who's being a strong leader here and there on a daily basis? So maybe the Wilfs should question themselves first and say, hey, are they putting in full effort to really make this a successful Super Bowl winning organization? Or could they care less at all about making history? Are they cool with the Vikings just being continuing, no Super Bowl, first round exits, etc.? As long as money comes, money goes, money comes, money goes. Fans in the seats, beer in hand, hot dog in hand, chips and dip, etc., baby. Do they even care? You know it. I know it. So Wilfs, Mark Wilf, you and Ziggy, have you been the strongest leaders possible? Period. Here we go, man. Let's get it.
You know, the GM obviously reports to ownership, the coach reports to ownership, but in the end, you want to have the top people. And Nolan, between his high football acumen, being around, and again, John and the Seattle organization, allowing Nolan to be participating in so many pieces of the organization has just made him to be a really strong leader, and he stood out that way. And I think it's a great fit here.
Bring in your AT&T, T-Mobile, Spectrum, or Xfinity bill for a better deal at Verizon.
Yeah. Hey, Mark. Kevin Seifert from ESPN to your left over here. Hey there. Just following up on that, in terms of leadership and that, just really bluntly, like who's in charge of football operations now moving forward?
Nolan is, as far as he's the general manager of the organization. He has final say on the roster.
First off, that was a pretty good and direct question. A really aggressive question. And guess what? I like it. Who is the director? Who is the leader? Who is the head guy? Who's making the decisions? Bottom line. You know, is this GM going to have full reign, free reign to move how he wants to move? He can say, yeah, now, of course. But does he really mean it? Is it really true? Here we go, man. Let's see. Get back to it.
53, but in the end, he's going to lean heavily, and he'll say it himself, on our head coach, obviously, and people like Rob Brzezinski and the.
So we're talking about he has full control, but he's going to lean heavy on his head coach and Rob. And is that a problem? No. Shouldn't be a problem as long as they understand it is his team, not his team per se, but he is the GM. It is his roster to build. He can make it look however he wants it to look, bro. Period. However he wants it to look, he has the final say. But great question from the media off the rip. But him working with KLC, working with Rob, I could care less. Matter of fact, I think I like it. I might like it a lot. I mean, hell, though, what Rob just did in the drafts, shit, that helps him out, period. Then you got old boy in the building as well, Matt from Seattle, who used to be in Seattle's business. So they're bringing guys, GMs, roster builders, etc., you know, who know how to build a real roster, man, who have great pedigree, a great history, a real winner mentality, winning record. So come on, bro. Great move right here. Great move. Really feel that way. Let's get it, bro. Here we go.
Building that have deep experience and skill sets that are complementary. So I think we have it all put together in a great way. And I'm confident that this is a great move for the organization, a great move for the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey guys, Judd Zolgad from SKOL North. Off that point, Mark, too, what do you feel in this situation separates this from potentially some of the past collaboration attempts that didn't go as well as was planned when those hires were made?
Again, it's a highly competitive environment, and we're always thriving to be the best, and that's what we're
Hold up, run that back, run that back.
off
Good.
on our head coach, obviously, and people like Rob Brzezinski in the building that have deep experience and skill sets that are complementary. So I think we have it all put together in a great way, and I'm confident that this is a great move for the organization, a great move for the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey guys, Judd Zolgad from Score North. Off that point, Mark, too, what do you feel in this situation separates this from potentially some of the past collaboration attempts that didn't go as well as was planned when those hires were made?
Hopefully, a pretty solid course done by Judd right there. No cap. Could have been better, but pretty solid. Hopefully, the main thing is knowing how to build a team, knowing how to draft. That was Quasi's main issue. Quasi was the last GM, etc. Hopefully, real relationships going on, real brotherhoods going on. Those are the two main things right there. Can you draft? And is the brotherhood, is the love real? Like Quasi said it was, like O'Connell portrayed it to be. Same with Mike, same with Zimmer and Rick. I mean, Rick Spillman and Mike Zimmer, heavy. But those are the two main questions, dog, right there. You can answer that question quickly and swiftly. Can Nolan Teasley draft? And him coming from Seattle, the roster they built quickly and swiftly, I'm pretty sure he can. Oh, I'm pretty sure he can. Wouldn't you be shocked if he couldn't or if he didn't? Question is, can he build a dynasty? Yeah. Is he at that level now? Is he ready to take that next step and elevate, even surpass John Schneider? Maybe. Maybe. Huh? You know it. I know it. Can he surpass John Schneider? Maybe, baby. For real. Here we go, man. Let's get back to it. But that's an easy answer. Easy answer right there. Can you draft and build a team for years to come? And will you have a real good relationship with your head coach, etc.? Let's get it. Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a highly competitive environment, and we're always thriving to be the best, and that's what we're trying to bring in here, pieces that fit. So again, we appreciate Kevin being part of the process in selecting a general manager. We haven't had that type of iteration here, and I think that was a big part of it, their dialogue and communication. And again, we have great pieces in this building, but Nolan, like I said, just has stood out so many ways through.
He kind of dodged the question right there, or is kind of dodging the question as well. But hey, that's Mark Wolf. That's Mark Wolf. He kind of answering around the question, not really attacking and not answering it clearly right. But it's all good, bro. It's all good. But hey, Mark Wolf, hey, it's simple, bro. Very simple. Can this new GM draft, and can he build a real relationship, have a positive relationship with his head coach, with Rob, etc.? Here we go. Let's get to it. that boy going around now.
Through the interview process, through all the references, through our process, we spoke to the John Schneider and the coach there, and the whole organization, and around the league as well. And the marks were high, and nothing through our process differed from that. So I think it all fits well together. Each process stands on its own, and obviously the difference is going to be we need to get where we need to get, and that's winning championships. So that's what our goal always is.
So Will, just to be clear here too, Kevin, Nolan, and Rob all report directly to you, or how's that going to trickle down?
No. Nolan, the general manager, reports to ownership as well as the head coach. Rob is part of the football operations and football organization that's under Nolan. So again, in the end, that's the structure. That's the way it is. If it comes to structure, we've got a problem. Okay. The end result is making sure leaders collaborate, work together, and
He said if it comes to structure, we have a problem. Now was it under, like, was that a shot to Quasi, so to say? But yeah, bro, like he just said, he reports to him. He is the boss. Matter of fact, I'll run it back one more time to get a full, clear dose of it again. But was that a slight shot at Quasi right there?
Through our process, we spoke to the John Schneider and the coach there and the whole organization and around the league as well. And the marks were high and nothing through our process different from that. So I think it all fits well together. You know, each process stands on its own. And obviously the difference is going to be we need to get where we need to get, and that's winning championships. So that's what our goal always is.
So Will, just to be clear here too, Kevin, Nolan, and Rob all report directly to you, or how's that going to trickle down?
No. Nolan, the general manager, reports to ownership as well as the head coach. Rob is part of the football operations and football organization that's under Nolan. So again,
so Rob is under him. Yeah. Hey man, you know. So him and KOC report to him at the end of the day, but he's still playing that GM position. Rob is under. You heard what he just said. Rob is under him. Hey, is what it is, ain't what it ain't. Shout out Rob, shout out Nolan Teasley, shit, even shout out KOC. Here we go. Let's get it.
in the end, that's the structure. That's the way it is. If it comes to structure, we've got a problem. Okay. The end result is making sure leaders collaborate, work together. And, again, kudos to Rob and the effort he led this past few months, getting our draft process and collaboration working well in the building. Right now we have Nolan, and I think that's an incredible piece to our puzzle. And like I said, Nolan's leading our football operations as GM, reports to ownership, and obviously Coach O'Connell reports to ownership as well.
Made with real milk and cream.
But it tastes unreal.
Natural bliss, unexplainably blissful.
Nolan, this is Mark Craig from the Star Tribune. I was curious, when it comes to gaining respect of a room, talk about how important your background in scouting, starting from kind of the bottom up when scouting. What
Bart, look at that right there, man.
What that does whenever you're able to stand in front of a room and get respect, and also what's the best piece of John Schneider that you're able to bring here?
I think those two things go together. You alluded to it. I started as an intern, and so I was able to experience a lot of roles between then and now. And so that's a lot of experience, and I can relate to people in the room. I've been in their shoes. And in terms of John, it's everything that we're talking about here is building alignment and consensus and being collaborative. That's what we did in Seattle, and that's what we're going to do here.
Nolan, Don Mitchell from Fox 9. First of all, welcome.
And he's seen it firsthand. He's seen the blueprint firsthand. Him and John Schneider work together firsthand. Shit. So it's no question in his ability to build a Super Bowl caliber roster, no doubt. The question is, how can they all work together? You know, how would the energy be, the cohesion be, the chemistry be? Let's get it, man. Here we go. We got to build. Oh man, what up, Holden? He said, I feel good about Teasley hiring. He sound like he know football, unlike Quasi Adolfo Monday. Shout out Holden in the building, man. We hope so, right? We hope so, right there, Holden, no doubt. Come on, Skol Nation, boom. Shout out Daniel in the building, Skol Vikes, man. Here we go. Let them know. Let them know. Let's get back to it. So he sounds like another KFC. Oh no. What? You think so? I don't think so, Daniel. Yeah, does he sound like KOC? How do they all sound like? You know? Yeah, I don't think he sounds like KOC. I think he sounds like himself. Shit. Bane, if anything. You know? But yeah, I feel like he's, just, of course, the right things will be said in this situation. But everything he said so far sounds like it's just him being him, understanding what he wants and what he brings to the table. You know? Said, what is power, or is it by committee? Terrible idea, in my opinion. I don't think the collaboration by committee or with power by committee, whatever you want to call it, would be bad. As long as they know what they want, the direction they want the team to go in, and the players they identify and the vision for the players, like he said earlier, I think it won't be a problem, man.